Okay, hello. Before I forget, I meant to ask this question like for the last 3 or 4 videos, and every single time I forget, so I'm starting with it. Does anybody know who is on Instagram, who follows me on Instagram, why are all of my videos all of a sudden all recording upside down? At first I was like, I'm gonna play it off like just to be different and to catch people's attention, and I don't know, maybe it's just a way to get people to watch more videos. But the truth of the matter is it just started happening and I have no idea why, and I can't figure out how to turn them upright. So people say that the audio is still working, and when you click on it, they say that it's right side up, but just when I'm posting it, it's upside down. Has anyone had this problem, or is anyone smarter than me with Instagram and can help me? I would so appreciate it. Leave it in the comments, message me on Instagram, email me. I'll take any way you want to get a hold of me. I would love help with that. So that's the first thing. Check, I got that off my list. The next thing was the topic of the video. So I was talking to a client this morning. She's a fellow Christian, and oftentimes we talk a lot about like a lot of really cool like topics related to like how God plays a part in our recovery and things like that. But today we were talking about an analogy in regards to like when you're trying to recover and you kind of hit a dead end, or you're trying an approach that is not working and you continue to find yourself back in the same place every single time, and how common it is to kind of like regroup and start recovery again, but to do it the exact same way, slow, steady, within your own conditions and terms and whatnot. And I can't take credit for this, but she came up with the idea of like, it's like when I'm pretty sure it was her actually. Maybe you can correct me if you're listening to this, client of mine, but I'm pretty sure it was her idea. But she said, we'll say it was her idea. If you're driving and you get lost, right? It would be really weird to be like, oh shoot, I'm lost. I'm gonna go back to my starting place, and then I'm gonna try to get the right directions and then try again, right? But in recovery, that's kind of how people think, right? That's kind of the logic. It's like, oh shoot, I didn't get to where I wanted to get. I put on some weight, I didn't rewire. I'm gonna go back to square one, and then I'm gonna start again. But the funny thing is, instead of starting again with new directions, you take the same path and then you get to the same place again. And so when you're driving, and this is funny that this analogy came up because I was thinking just the other day, I was driving my son to a basketball game and I took a wrong turn and I got lost. And I quickly like pushed reroute on my map like app, and it kind of like took me to the fastest way from where I was to the destination. How like idiotic and insane would that be for me to be like, crap, I'm lost, I took a wrong turn. You know what I think I'm gonna do actually? I think I'm gonna drive 20 minutes back home, and then I'm gonna try to get the right directions from home, and then I'm gonna try to get to that game. That would be such a roundabout waste of time, right? So my point is like that reroute button that I pushed on that map app is what helped me get to the game the fastest. Even though I had made a mistake and took a wrong turn, I was still able, we only lost a few minutes and I was able to get to that game on time. Now in recovery, people oftentimes do this. Like I said, you're gonna kind of take a wrong course, or maybe this approach that you're doing isn't working. And instead of just being like, let's pivot and let's make the adjustments that we need and keep going, essentially, let's continue on with where we're at despite the weight we've gained, and make some modifications and changes so that we can fully rewire and get there. Instead of, shoot, I gained some weight, and this goes back to a video I did recently on gaining weight and not rewiring. Shoot, I've gained weight and haven't rewired. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all the way back, lose all the weight, and then I'm gonna do the rewiring again. It really is like the worst possible idea you can think of if you're really trying to recover and you're trying to do it in a way that is efficient and as fast as possible, right? And so I just was thinking this might be a helpful analogy for those of you who, and a lot of you who, have gained weight and have not rewired and are freaking out and feeling like I can't do this. Another thing I wanted to comment on was something that's not talked about a lot is extreme hunger in those later stages of recovery. Once you have gained a good amount of weight where you think like, I can't believe I'm in this body right now and I'm freaking out and this is so much. And then extreme hunger hits, like it's probably really intense mental extreme hunger, and it freaks you out and you think, see, this isn't working. See, this plan, surely this is completely out of control. My body's broken. This is not supposed to be happening at this point. I cannot trust my body. I shouldn't have listened in the past. I've got to stop this. And they come to a very abrupt halt in their progress. And those who are trusting and understand the process and are like, you know what? Yes, I've gained weight. Yes, my extreme hunger is flaring up again, and are able to see what's actually happening, that like internally now things are starting to heal and recover, and that requires a lot of extra energy. Those are the people who get there all the way. They trust that. It's a scary stage to be in. It is. It's really scary, and it's very hard to accept, and it's really hard to keep following through with that hunger. But almost always I see that happen. I see people, very rarely do I see people put on a good amount of weight and then that hunger just completely fizzles. Usually they're going to have another bout of extreme hunger. It's almost like that last test of faith and trust in this process. And it's like challenging you, like, are you going to do it? Yes, please do it. It is so, so worth it. And it's what gets you to that full rewiring that has to be done. And it helps you to overcome your fear of weight gain. So this message, or this video, I guess, was kind of all over the place, but the main points are, if you get lost, or if you're on the wrong track, or you've done this the quote unquote wrong way, don't go all the way back to the beginning, and certainly don't go back to the beginning and then take the same directions, the same path that got you to the place you weren't trying to get to. Okay, just reroute right from where you're at, pivot, make some modifications, recommit, and keep going. Secondly, extreme hunger is going to hit. Obviously in the beginning you're going to get some of that, but I certainly experienced this myself. Like, I don't know, 10 months in, I had thought I was like pretty much there. Like my weight had plateaued and my hunger was starting to feel more normal, and then bam, it hit me again. And I so tempted to be like, no way in heck am I listening to this. This didn't work. My body's broken. I'm not doing this anymore. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I had just enough freedom at that point and enough like clarity and I guess ability to kind of see from the outside what was actually happening with my body and what needed to be done after those periods of restriction that I had gone through, that my body still was healing. Yes, I had my period back. For months I had my period back. So it was hard for me to like point my finger at what my body was doing and why it needed all that food and why my mental hunger was so high. But I'm so glad I listened to it. It really did get me fully recovered. So if you're in that stage, I really challenge you, and I pray that you'll be brave and courageous, and you will take that leap of faith and you will go all the way. All right, have a good day.